Wish we could swap over.
Okay. Do you have that thing, Jen, when you go, when exactly is the moment where it goes live?
It's live, babes.
Is it live now?
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, there we are. Fabulous.
I have it all the time. I get it all the time.
I'm like, you think I'd be good at it by now?
I know, I get it all the time.
Oh, that's so cute. Hello, everybody. Hello, beautiful souls. How are you? Mwah. It's actually, I'm just going to take a breath and take a minute to drop in with you all, because it's been got at least a month since I've come on and done a live with everyone, because I've been busy moving house. And if you don't already know, I live in France, in the south of France. I manifested my absolute dream come true, and I'm super happy. So blessings from this peaceful place. And I'm super excited tonight. My beautiful, dear friend, sister, Jen McCarthy is with me tonight. And Jen in Glastonbury, just about, aren't you, Jen? Just about still in Glastonbury.
Just about in Glastonbury, yeah.
Jen has a very successful following. The event is happening, Facebook group on Brighton. On Facebook, not Brighton. Please go check that out. The event is happening. And Jen's a spiritual teacher. She's an amazing speaker. Hopefully some of you have seen her videos. If not, go check her out on YouTube. You did have a Facebook account. You're also a musician. You sing, you host meditations all the time. You're an incredible inspiration and light in the world, Jen, and I absolutely love you. So it's brilliant that we can do something fun on the live tonight together.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing this for a while, and it's so wonderful that you know, that this time has been created for us to have some time together online. It's amazing, Tara.
And so recently, I just want to share with everybody, you lost your Facebook account, didn't you? Was that 2 days ago?
2 days ago, yeah. I had like 5,000 friends and 25,000 followers, and yeah, they took it down.
Do you know why they took it down? Did you get a notice or a
No, nothing. I didn't even have a Facebook ban. I never posted anything political for about the last 2 or 3 months. I was just totally high vibe. I was just like back to just posting about twin flames and about ascension. But I don't know. I have a really powerful voice and a big platform, and I think that they were just targeting people that have platforms.
Maybe they just felt your vibe and went, she's too high, shut her off.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. It has been a bit devastating though.
I know, I'm really sorry about that. I know that is really hurtful when that happens. Yeah. So all of you, now obviously you can see that Jen's created a new profile. Facebook may reinstate it, you don't know. But in case they don't, please go to Jen's new profile, which of course you can click on this video. I think your name should be highlighted. If not, just go find her.
Did you tag me on this video?
Let me have a look.
Because then
other people that are watching, they can tag you as well.
Okay, yeah.
Just go and find Jen's, do us a favor, guys. Will you find Jen McCarthy's new profile? Because I don't think I did tag you.
I'm going to just say hi, guys, on your...
Perfect.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think let's see if we can. I did put your name on it, but for some reason it hasn't done anything just yet. Okay. So guys, won't fiddle around with this. No, forget it. Did I do that right? I don't want to screw things up. You know, when you just got going, you don't want to screw it up.
Don't worry, I've put my name on the comment so people can find me. No problem. Okay,
cool. Let's go find Jen. Anyway. Technical stuff over. And also, I just wanted to say a shout out before we get going as well, Jen. Have you seen one of these before, Jen?
I have, yeah. Orgonite?
That's it. Orgone Chi. It's an Orgone Chi pendant.
Oh, yeah.
And a beautiful woman makes these, and she made one for magenta.
Oh.
And it's really beautiful because when we were all down in Glastonbury, when we did the Divine Feminine and Masculine Roundtable video combined,
yeah,
I was sitting next to Magenta and I was like, wow, Magenta. I was like, wow, that's really beautiful pendant. And she was like, yeah, this amazing woman made me one and sent it to me. I was like, that's amazing. I love it. Next thing I know, she sent me one and I was like, wow, thank you so much.
Beautiful.
I know, it's so cute. So thank you, Orgone Chi pendant lady. Thank you for that. I give you a shout out, I think ages ago when I got it, and I was like, I meant to do another one. So please go check out that company as well, Organji. It's brilliant. Anyway, Jen, the whole point of us coming together, I mean, we have so many things to talk about. We've already a little bit had to chat today about twin flames, and that is an epic thing to go into.
That is.
Maybe we'll drift into that zone tonight.
I hope we do. I hope we do.
We probably will.
We probably will, yeah. It's my speciality subject.
Absolutely, and I'm living it, so, and have been living it for many years. So it's an incredible thing. It'd be amazing to talk about that. And it's got everything to do as well. You and I both talk a lot, Jen, about the shift, the direction that the energy of the planet's going, what's going on with human consciousness, and that twin flame reunion or unions are really an important part of that. But also, so is peace.
Yeah.
And I've noticed, and so this particularly, I just want to say that, and Jen and I were literally just talking about this, I never put anything political on my Facebook page. And the reason is because I know opinions can change. I know you get a piece of information here and a piece of information there, and your whole opinion can change. And I've never, ever in my life had a value for politics. I've seen all of it as completely corrupt since I was a little girl. And if I've ever voted, it's been for Greens.
Yeah, me too.
Right. And then I just lived in Brighton.
Yeah.
No brainer. It's like, at least I can do something good. And they very rarely got in. But actually, in Brighton, I voted Green. And we had a Green MP, and it was fantastic. And she did lots of good. So it was like, yay, actually voting Green can pay off. It paid off for us in Brighton. And that was my only interest. I'm not interested in politics. I'm interested in people. I'm interested in peace. I'm interested in love. I'm interested in human evolution. And for me, politics was just this corrupt, total bullshit thing that was happening on the side. And then 2 days ago, I have been getting a little bit, saying some very subtle views, actually some of them not so subtle. And then 2 days ago, I was like, I made a post about Donald Trump winning the election because I'm a soul reader, I'm psychic, I can see these things. And I was like, he's going to win. And, curiosity, what do you all think about if the lockdowns were to stop after he won the election?
Fair enough question.
It was quite a harmless, playful kind of post. And I really meant it. Obviously, I'm just being curious. I'm wondering what other people think about that. And I would totally welcome everybody's thoughts and opinions and views. I'm not one of these people that will say, you don't think the same as me, therefore I'm not going to be your friend. I'm not going to put you down. I'm not going to condemn you. I'm not going to tear you to shreds publicly. I'm not going to do anything other than go, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing on my, sharing your opinion. I love you. I literally feel like that. No, nothing else happening in my world. And lots of people put lots of comments, and I think you've probably had this experience, Jen. I don't know if you've had this experience where lots of people then backwards and forwards, some very well-meaning and supportive and wanting to defend me, and I love these people. They're fantastic. And then other people that I also love, who've known me for years, who've come to my events, who've worked with me, and who I also love very much, and then going, oh my God, you support Trump, you're a racist, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi. Perhaps you also think Hitler's a good guy. Do you support Hitler, Tara? Like, what? Am I suddenly a white supremacist? Am I all these kinds of things? And I was just like, whoa, guys, that must be a lot of pain. That's what I was picking up from that. I was like, here are a lot of people confused, hurting, struggling, afraid, not in peace, and being really upset. And to be honest, that upset me to see the level. And of course, it wasn't just this isn't just happening on my Facebook group. This was happening everywhere and has been for quite some time. And it's got super, super intense, that divide of people sharing this opinion and then that opinion and then attacking each other for it. And I just want to say that, can we find some peace in this? Have you had an experience like that, Jen?
I've had a lot of experience like that, yeah, because because I'm like you, and I am not political. I have never been political. I have always associated politics as being very, very draconian and very, you know, archonic, and of that very sort of like complex lower vibration. And I never ever wanted to have anything to do there. I'm absolutely like repelled by it. And so when Donald Trump got into office, I just assumed that he was going to be one of the same, like a globalist, that he was going to be. And I didn't like what he said about women. I went along with the whole mainstream narrative about what they were saying about him, because I had father issues. I've never met my father. Men have let me down my whole entire life. And I just looked at him and I was just like, without really looking at him, just like that surface media sort of like projection of him. And I rejected him, and I was like, no, you're not good, you're not working for humanity, you're selfish, and I don't have anything to do with it. But the funny thing was that I lead these very large global meditations, and just before Trump got elected, I was guided to facilitate a meditation to basically shift the power structure to allow the forces of light to enter into positions of leadership. So I was really supportive of Jeremy Corbyn, and I was really supportive of Bernie Sanders. And it was at that time when we were really, really hoping that those two would take positions of power. But straight away after I did this transmission, Trump got elected. And I didn't really put two and two together because it took a little bit of time for me. But what happened was I ended up having a dream about him. And in the dream, and this was in 2017, and I was riding on this very old-fashioned train, and we were sitting in a carriage, and there was like 4 seats on that side, 4 seats on the opposite. He was sitting by the window. I got up and I went over to him, and I bent down and I looked him in the eyes and I said, I see you. I know exactly who you are. I said, you are playing the role of the buffoon, and it doesn't fool me. And then he looked at me with like this biggest
dimples when you said that.
Yeah, he looked at me with the biggest glint in his eyes. He's got like Tiffany blue eyes, and he just put his hand up and he went, victory to the alliance. And I was like, oh my golly gosh. Because I've been working with the Alliance, with the Galactic Federation of Light and the White Hat Earth Alliance for many, many, many years. And so the fact that he used that specific code in the dream, it penetrated all my filters of doubt. It just went absolutely straight to the heart of a direct transmission of a soul communication. And so from that moment, I then looked at him with different eyes that were not like covered from what the media had enforced upon me. I looked at him, I owned my own shit around my own projections towards men, you know, and I just let them drop, and I just looked at him and I was like, who is this man? And when I actually looked at him, I connected with his higher self. And when his higher self started coming in, I experienced the most extraordinary healing of my life. And it was like his presence was able to go into the wound where I never met my father, where I'd always been disappointed, always been let down by the masculine, had been deeply calling for a warrior, really, really powerful warrior to step forward and sort this mess out, you know. And somehow I felt that on a very, very telepathic, heart-based, tangible, palpable, spiritually real experience of connecting with his higher self. And you know, and so I then began a secret relationship with him, and I certainly didn't go public, but I knew deep in my heart that he was working for the light. But I kept very quiet about that because all around me, everyone absolutely despised him. And I understood why they despised him. I completely understood, because I did as well. So I just kept my mouth shut. I didn't say anything, but I was quietly supportive. And then when I set up my group, someone posted about Q. I set up my group in March 2018. And that was when I first learned about Q. And and you know, we're very, very lucky in many ways to be so psychically attuned, you know, because as soon as I found out about Q, I just knew, I resonated at it as being truth, and I was getting all confirmative signs and synchronicities, and how my soul communicates to me that this is truth. I was having that with Q, so I ended up having a very deep connection with Q. And then I realized that Trump is Q. Trump is Q. There's no separation. And then I got the download that Q is actually 10. It's made up of 10 beings, and about 7 or 8 of them are human beings, and then 2 of them are off-planet beings. And so it's like I was able to remote view the whole kind of like setup, and that's what I was shown. And but you know, I didn't go public about it. But the only time I went public about it, Tara, about my support, was when I found out about the deep underground military bases in March, when COVID came along. And I started listening to Gene, what's his name, Gene Decoder, and he was an ex-Navy guy. And then he was just doing these videos all about the deep underground military bases. And he was telling us about all the children in the cages and what they do to all the children. And then I realized that, like, Donald Trump, like, he had devoted his whole administration to saving these children. And then I just thought, I don't care what anyone thinks about me anymore. All I care about is those children. That's the only thing I care about, is those children are getting saved and they're getting rescued. And I'm going to be a voice for them, because this paedophilia, this satanic, like, ritual abuse, this can only carry on when it happens in the shadows. If we expose it and bring it to the light and talk about it, then it has to unravel. This evil has to unravel. And so I basically decided to go public with my support for him, his administration, and Q. And oh my god, everybody lost their shit with me. Like, everyone, my whole entire family, my whole entire community of Glastonbury. Like, I had people really turning on me in a very, very, very heavy way. And we spoke about this before, but this is all because I was supporting the work that he's doing for the children. So, you know, but at the end of the day, I've transcended my need for approval for what other people think, because at the end of the day, I just want to be a voice for the children.
Exactly. And you can only be true to your own heart and soul, can't you? Whether people agree with you and what you say with your visions and your dreams and your meditations and your channelings, because I know a lot of people, very cynical, very disbelieving, their version of reality is one thing and our version of reality is another thing. And then we can just agree to differ on that, guys. If you have a different reality, you know, Jen is not going to come along and say you shouldn't have your reality. And I don't think it's fair for somebody to come along to you, Jen, and say you shouldn't have your reality either. Everything is a matter of perspective, right? And I completely relate to you, Jen. I see things and it's been completely normal to me my whole life, and yet it's not normal to other people. That for me is my reality. I have a truth barometer that never ever lies. I know when something is true, I know when it's not. I see through people. Like you, I see things. And it's like, and a lot of people might think that people like me and you are just full of shit and we're not based in the real world. How many times have you been told that? Right?
Do you know what? I've never been told that.
Haven't you? I have.
No,
my
I really
whole
haven't.
life.
I haven't. It's a miracle. It's an absolute.
Well, it's wonderful. Obviously, you've attracted up until this time loads of people supporting you and just being who you are, and you're amazing at it. And you know, so where am I going with this? What I'm saying is, even people that don't believe your experience and your truth, just because they don't agree with you, is it okay that then they, you know, in the name of a good cause, because they're for the good people and they're on the right team, that they can validate really attacking and hurting another human being who's actually doing a lot of good in the world and just trying to do good? Like, where is the actual sense in that? How can you be a good person and think you're a good person and that you're on the team of the right if you're going to then attack somebody for having a different perspective to you, different reality view?
Yeah. Absolutely. And we all of us that are supportive of the White Hat administration have been very, very kind of vulnerable or open to a lot of heavy duty attacks. Whereas for myself, like, I saw that one of my really good soul sisters from Bali had voted for Biden, and I was so shocked. I was like, she's a conscious, high vibe medicine sister. Like, oh my gosh, do you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
And but that would like, I love her. I would never, even though I'm so shocked and I'm so disappointed that she did not have any due diligence around this decision, I would never ever not love her. I would always honor her, even though I'm so disappointed, deeply, deeply, profoundly disappointed in her choice. I will always love her, and I will always support her as my soul sister. And I think the funny thing is, Tara, I think a lot of us that are sort of leaning on that fence of that opinion, and it seems to be the ones on the other side of the fence that are very, very, very attacking. That's what I've noticed. So I don't, it's not cool, but you know, I got to a point where I sort of like lost my tolerance for people that weren't going, that were really evil and nasty towards a person that I could see was all about the children. But that was my personal choice that I made, because I feel like I have a very, very deep spiritual connection with the whole situation. So, but yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because I think it's so much of a projection, because these people, what they're supporting is so evil, so they're just basically projecting that onto us, that we're supporting that evil. It's just a total projection. But at the end of the day, it's about globalism and sovereignty. What side are you on? Are you about communism and globalism, or are you about freedom and sovereignty? That's where we're at right now.
And the thing is, a lot of people will say, and by the way, this whole thing isn't going to be talking about, you know, politics, and we're not going to be talking about, you know, Trump and Biden the whole time. But the whole point is in here is that freedom of speech, is that peaceful alliance, is that, you know, we're not going to be attacking one another. But I also want to say, Jen, I completely agree with you. Like, actually, having said, I only remember right near the election results back in 2016, Trump going against Hillary. I had not watched television. I didn't know about Trump and The Apprentice. I had no idea. I knew he was a trader that had made a lot of money and was a pretty clever guy as far as I knew, but really capitalist, and, you know, didn't know much about him. I looked at their energies, both. I knew nothing about Hillary Clinton either. I don't follow this stuff. Yeah. I looked at their energies and went, good God, that woman is total evil. Wow. And she's completely connected. And that the whole time it was the Brexit situation, do you remember? Yeah. And Brexit was going off. And I looked at the Brexit situation, and I know people are going to probably judge me and not like me for this, but this is what I was thinking personally. And I didn't vote, but I was just like, I looked at that situation and went, one version of this is Hillary gets into power. She's colluding with the New World Order in the European Union. We've got New World Order everywhere. We're stuffed. We are stuffed. And this woman is clearly evil. She's going to create war after war. There's going to, that mankind is in devastation if she comes in. And then I looked at, like this, I'm just looking at it energetically, right? Seeing the soul. And I look at Donald Trump and I'm like, he's funny, interesting character. Actually, it's like he looks like a kind of a puppet, like he's being an idiot, like you said, a buffoon. He looks like he's being an idiot. I know this man's not an idiot. He's a flipping genius when it comes to timing, when it comes to having your ear to the ground. You know, traders, they feel every pattern. They know everything that's coming. To be a good trader, you have to see the patterns. You have to know what goes on a very grounded level, and almost like having your ear to the ground, being able to hear what's coming and respond ahead of time, right? It's a very amazing skill to have. And I looked at his soul and I went, he's got so much light about him. And actually more and more I see in him, and trust me, guys, I'm not kind of opening all of this up to be, you know, are you for or against? That's not what this is about. I just see a being who is absolutely working with angelic light, and also with other dimensional beings that are of much higher vibration, who are friends, by the way, who are on a really good place. And I see this person just like you. When I started to look into it, Jen, and actually I've known about the practices that have gone on in this country and every other country for hundreds, if not thousands of years, to keep the elite powers in place. The satanic practices, the ritual abuse of children, everything else. I'm not even going to say all the words because we know what it is. It's horrific. And I've known about that for a really long time, even into the Hollywood thing. I've seen it. You know it is. Some of these things have been brought out into the public, and people have just ignored them and thought it's rubbish. However, when I really started learning about what was going on with the children, and that actually, whether you like him or not, whether you like any other of his policies, whatever you agree with, the fact was this man was going and doing what nobody else had done before, and that was actually going into the darkest pits of humanity and getting these children out of these horrific places. And what's been done to them is, like, you can't even speak it. It's unspeakable.
It's unspeakable.
It's unspeakable. To think that human beings do that, I mean, they're not human anymore as far as I'm concerned. They're not human. A human being would not do that to children. Not just one, but millions of them. And it's sickening. And this is fact. This is all fact. This is not Jen and I tripping. This is not Jen and I, or any of us, by the way, having, you know, a spiritual dream. This is actually fact. And plus, you've probably done some
thousands of hours of research on the subject.
Exactly.
Which a lot of the naysayers have done 0 hours research, apart from maybe a little bit of BBC here and there, which is just pure propaganda.
You're connected as well. You're connected. You've spoken with a lot of people, Jen, far more than I have. People who know things and who have given you
insiders, military insiders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And exactly. So
I just want to address something, Tara. There's a guy, Dave Goatee, something or other, giving some quite interesting comments. And he's like, what children? Well, Dave, brother, in Ohio a week ago, 145 people were arrested for child trafficking, and 48 children were rescued in Ohio in the last week. So there are sting operations going around all over the world at the moment, and paedophiles are being targeted by the police forces, and there's these like sort of like operations that are posing as young people to lure paedophiles, and then they're catching them. And so this is really, really happening. And you say, oh, what children? Well, I grew up in London. I grew up very, very close to Hampstead, and in the children's home, I get quite passionate about this, Tara, because I feel like how very dare you? Do you not know what is going on in this world? Like, come on, guys. I lived in very, very close to Hampstead in London, and in those children's homes, what was going on with the politicians, with the clergy, the most evil, they put Hollywood to shame what they did to those children. And there are videos on YouTube of children that have been sodomized and have got black eyes, and they're actually talking about killing babies.
Yeah.
There are videos. Okay, so we're not making this up, and the reason why this is all being exposed is because of the White Hat administration. And so if, you know, this other Biden, etc., they are globalists. They are wanting to keep this planet entrapped in the third dimension, in this reptilian and archonic control system of the third dimension. And they do that through loosh. They collect loosh, which is torture and fear energy. And so all of these elite unelites are invested in torturing and murdering children in order to take the loosh, to feed their masters. Now, this is what has been going on our planet, and we are in the middle of an ascension right now, and there are forces that are supporting that ascension, and there are forces that are wanting to keep this planet locked down. And so you know, it's really happening. And if it wasn't for a certain administration, none of these children would be being rescued, because all of the like the police and the judges, they were all complicit. And the higher up you are, the more complicit you are in child rape, torture, murder, and the works. So there you go, Mr. Dave. Stick that in your pipe.
And bless you, Dave. He shows up a lot. I love you, Dave. You are always supporting my stuff. But this is absolutely true. Go and look it up. Go and look up adrenochrome. This is
look up adrenochrome, exactly.
This is not made up. This is real stuff. And in fact, actually, it's been in the movies. You know, so you might think, oh, this is something out of a movie. Yeah, because they put it in the movies, because it's the people that make the movies.
They have to tell us.
It's all out. It's all out there. It's all out there. Yep.
You know,
it's all out there. So it's not being made up. And the fact is, like Jen, I'm exactly the same as that. I care about the children on this planet.
Take Archie, please.
Yeah. I care about the inner child of everyone on this planet who's alive now. And there's a heck of a lot of inner children in the grown-ups who have been tortured, raped, abused, neglected, and far worse things happen to them. And that's why I spend a lot of my time focusing on the healing of that and supporting people's healing of that. Meanwhile, there are children, I mean, honestly, Jen, I can't even go there with my brain right now, because it's like, it's too horrific what's been happening to the kids on this planet. And I will not, you can't, once you know this, you can't sit back and say, oh, I'm not going to do anything. And it doesn't matter if everybody just doesn't agree with me. I don't care, because it's really important to support the children. If you've got children, if you care about children now and children of future generations, if something isn't done now and we're not supporting the people that are actually solving this enormous problem, then it's just going to perpetuate and it's going to carry on, and it absolutely can't carry on. So even if that's the only reason and everything else you dislike and you disbelieve, it doesn't matter. And besides, anyway, by the way, we are in the UK, and people are like, well, what difference does it make? The elections in America, well, it makes a difference to all of us, by the way. And it makes a difference what we are supporting. It makes a difference, you know, where our minds and our hearts are at. And whilst a lot of people are fighting this side or that side and fighting each other on Facebook, our hearts are not in the right place coming from there. You know, it's like, that's more dissonance, that's more fear, that's more chaos, that's more anger, adding into this pot of what's already there. And I just feel like any of you, if you're loving, which I know all of the people who watch my things, you're all loving, you're all caring, passionate, real human beings, you know. And from that place, can we just come back to that place of love and just, even if you can't understand it yet, or you don't agree with me, or you don't agree with Jen, or you don't agree with anybody else, or maybe you just you totally disbelieve what we're saying, just come back into your heart, come back into actually what's true for you right now. Because when you don't understand the truth, you cannot understand the truth, the full truth of your mind. It's just too incomprehensible. It gets too deep, too complicated, trying to figure it all out. You have to just come back to your heart. And if all you can do is put your love into the world and bless and pray for those beautiful kids, pray for our planet, pray that the right side will actually and is actually creating a massive ground level change for all of us, just put your energy into that. Can we do that? Can everyone just please be in peace and stop fighting one another? Because there's enough destruction on this planet. There's been enough wars. You know, let's just stop fighting one another. It's one thing, isn't it, when somebody's saying, you know, pointing the finger at somebody else, saying you're a racist, you're this, you're that, but meanwhile you're attacking somebody else. So what's the difference? You're attacking someone for their freedom of speech. What's the point? Anyway, I just wanted to make that clear, everybody. I just wanted to really make it clear. Be in peace. Like Jen said, you know, Jen, you're unmuted, darling.
Oh, I just want to say that, like, I get really, really emotional about the children. Like, I've literally devoted my whole entire life's work to being a voice to them and to raising awareness. And it's something that has really deeply affected my core. And so when I see things like what children, like, it just blows me away. It really, really, and it's like, just do a little bit of research. That's all we need to do, just a tiny little bit of research away from the BBC and the mainstream media, and just really, really, let's find out what's going on. But I am and really
support that. Support that.
Yeah.
Support that. It doesn't matter what country we live in. We can support that. We can support the children on our planet being freed, being cared for, being healed, and there is no future without the children. There really isn't.
They are our most precious beings in the whole universe. Like,
yeah.
God's human children are so important for creation. They're so deeply, deeply precious, you know? And they must.
Yeah. And that energy of innocence as well. Innocence needs to be preserved.
They must be.
And cherished and protected. Anyway, I haven't even checked people's questions. Jen, I really love you. Thanks for sharing all of that.
That's okay, hon. And I wasn't angry. I was just really emotional. I get really emotional when I talk about the children. It's hard for me sometimes to detach, you know.
You don't have to be apologetic, Jen. I think anybody with a heart, and especially when you're a parent like you are, a beautiful mother, when you're a human being and you have a heart, of course you give a shit about the children. It's only if you're not really being a true human being, you're so damaged, you're so sick, so dark with your own traumas that you're going to have that much hatred, that much sickness inside of you to do these horrific things. Honestly, that's a lot of sickness. And for me, I feel like when a human being has become so sick that they are no longer human, or any being, let's say, because there's mixed races, mixed energies on this planet that are not all fully human. Let's say, whatever being, when a being is that distorted in their frequency, so not in harmony, that requires, I think, even more unconditional love and compassion to put, when there's a void of light, an absolute absence, a lack of, extreme lack of light and love, then it needs more total compassion and love. It doesn't mean tolerance, it doesn't mean allowing it to happen, it means stop allowing it to happen, but also still, you can't fight fear with fear, you can't fight hatred with hatred, you can't fight darkness with darkness. You can only bring total unconditional love and compassion to all beings, that this heals on our planet. And it doesn't matter what flipping person you vote for, doesn't matter which side you're part of, putting your energy into healing of the sickness in humanity, which starts in ourselves, by the way. We've all got distortions, we've all got shadows, we've all got the hatred, and we've all got the, the vengeance and the darker sides to us, and that fear. And it's like, let's put our unconditional love there, heal our own shadows first, so we're not pointing fingers at others whilst fingers point back at ourselves, right? Be sovereign. This is a shift into sovereignty, and come back home to yourself. And then when you've got that love and compassion for yourself and you're not lacking in that, you will be able to give more love and compassion to others and see a completely different perspective, by the way, because that love within will heal you and you will see with different eyes. That's amazing, actually. That's what you shared in your story. You healed that issue that came up, with your dad, and that dream and that connection with the higher self of Donald Trump help you heal that father issue. And then you start seeing things differently, right? Because you're not blinded by your own pain, and therefore seeing things in a clear way.
That dream healed me, because my soul, it was a soul meeting. It wasn't a 3D human meeting, it was a soul meeting. And so it was like medicine for my soul. And then I was able then to lift those lenses of of disappointment in the masculine, which I think is going on. That is what's going on collectively. I think that I experienced what is going on collectively.
I think
that we all have this deep and profound disappointment with the masculine, and you know, so but we must heal it. We must heal it, and accept and love each other for, you know, for for who we are. Like you said,
you have to draw a line somewhere, don't you? You have to draw a line somewhere and say, enough, let there be peace. And peace has to start
inside. It's the most valuable thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And you know, the only way we're ever going to have world peace, in my opinion, Jen, is when every human being starts to understand what peace really is and experiences it, because there is a place that's always in peace inside of us. You don't have to go out there doing mantras, or I mean, you can do mantras if you want, they're lovely, but you don't have to go out there doing all these things to attain. You can't attain peace. It's a feeling inside. It's like going into a room in your house. You go into that room, that's where the peace is. Be in the peace. You know, there's nothing you actually have to do to be there. It's just a choice of whether you do or whether you stay in the chaos, in the drama, adding to it. You know, it's like being peace and putting that energy into by being that shift yourself, by being in peace, by coming back to that love. Your pain will heal, your eyes will be cleaned, your perspective cleaned up, and you'll see through completely different eyes. And I just recommend that everybody does that. And
look with your heart. Look with your heart.
Yeah.
He does his little granddad dances. How can you not love him? How can you not love him?
Oh, bless. And, you know, again, you know, I'm going to say, because some people, you know, I don't know, anybody who watches my stuff probably doesn't think this, but some people might be, how can love, you know, it's so funny, Jen, my partner, my twin flame, love of my life, actually thinks completely different to me.
Does he?
He was, yeah, completely different. It's hilarious, right? Talk about difference of opinion. I mean, the thing is, he is with me in terms of, you save the children. That's important. That's, you know, you love the planet, serve the planet, look after the kids. You know, we've got a lot of things that we do agree on. However, he's like, Tara, and if you're watching, babe, I love you. He's like, Tara, you know, all your lovey stuff, the world doesn't need more love, it needs less people. He really believes that. And I'm like, you know, he has his perspective. He's traveled so many places. He has an incredible experience. He surmises that. That's where he's at. And I'm not going to put him down for that. I go, well, I don't agree with you. He's like, I don't agree with you. So we're like, but I love you anyway, unconditionally. You know, nothing's going to come between us, because our connection and our love is more important than anything to us. Are we going to learn from each other? Yes, we are. And that's really powerful. But, you know, this is twin flames, right? Sometimes your twin flame, it can be the exact opposite of you and mine, and mine is. But yeah, he's just like, he thinks all my lovey stuff is not powerful at all. And just in case anybody feels like that, I just want to say, I've been working with people for years and years who have been in some very dark places and have very dark energies working through them. You could call it possessions, you could call it, I don't know, sicknesses, all kinds of sicknesses and illnesses of the mind and of the spirit and of the body. And I've, through the power of unconditional love, no darkness can stand in unconditional love and not be transformed by it. No evil can stand in unconditional love and not be transformed by it. Because, and I'm talking about the, you know, the higher forces, that the powerful forces of unconditional love that have created all things. I'm not saying, actually I am saying, we are vessels of this. We are transmuters. We are beings of unconditional love. And when you tap into that place of absolute source within you, where it is pure absolute, some people call it 0 point, that absolute total love. And it's not necessarily rainbows and flowers and, you know, romantic gestures. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking the essence of love itself. That power, nothing can touch it. Nothing. It will erase all evil and darkness. And so from us actually even just beginning to understand that, not with our minds, but going to the part of us that is that, you know, taking your consciousness, taking your awareness to that absolute place inside of us, back to the source within us, we can have the most incredible quantum, if you like, shifts, not just on a personal level, but on a planetary level. And that's what's happening, isn't it, Jen? That's what you and I both witness all the time. And not just us, loads of other people too. For those of you that are watching that know about this, please share your experiences as well.
Yeah, please share this video, brothers and sisters, because I don't have my platform at the moment, and I really need as much support as possible, you know, to get these messages out there, because they really are important. And me and Tara have such a beautiful, deep, ancient galactic connection and alchemy that it would be such a shame to not share it, you know. So but yeah, I absolutely agree with you, and love is the trump vibration, and love is God, and God is truth, and truth is love. They're all synonymous, and they will eradicate all illusion, because only love is real. Fear is an illusion. And so fear exists on a frequency. It appears to be real, but it isn't real, because only love is real. And so when you attune to the frequency of love, it just completely subsumes and eradicates and erases all fear, and you're back in love. So the question is, how do you get into love? And I would say how I got into really stabilized into the love vibration was I became addicted to being grateful, really training my brain to being grateful, because noticing that my egoic consciousness was addicted to negativity and to holding on to that victim narrative, and like that is what it needed for its survival, and it was absolutely incessant. So in order for me to have some sort of breakthrough with that, I had to take the reins of my mind. So I was like, right, I'm going to focus on gratitude. Thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you for that. And it was like I trained my brain to go on rampages of gratitude constantly. And now the thing is, what I learned is that, you know, like God, truth, love, that is the natural vibration of who we are. So when you start attuning to that frequency, the whole entire universe like rushes to your aid to lift you up, because you are in alignment with the truthful frequency of creation, which is love, expansion, appreciation, gratitude, and service. And so basically that was one way how I really came to a place of being very stabilized in the love vibration. And another way was that I dedicated my life to serving my brothers and sisters, and to realizing that everyone on this earth has got PTSD on some level. It is so traumatic for the soul to be incarnated in this third dimensional matrix. And so I realized that everyone's suffering, like whether they look like they're suffering or not, everyone is suffering. And because I've had this experience of the Kundalini, whatever, I'm in angelic consciousness, it is my duty to serve my brothers and sisters with my kindness, with my generosity, with my tone of my voice, with my just presence, just general just presence with them. And so I take that out of me. So when I go out with the orientation to be of service to my brothers and sisters. When you come into that attitude, you stabilize so quickly in the love vibration, in fifth dimensional consciousness.
It's true. So, and you can't live in lack when you're in service and you're in gratitude. Like that, there's no place for lack, is there?
No,
you can't stay feeling sorry for yourself, or feeling like the victim, or feeling like it's somebody else's fault, or feel like you're helpless and you can't do anything, or struggling with poverty. And trust me, Jen, I've been in a really similar place, massively. I used to be so sick. My physical body got so sick when I was about 14, and I was ill for 10, 12 years. And I was really in a deep place of lack. I was hardly in my body. I didn't want to be on the planet. I couldn't handle I was too empathic and sensitive, and I was just seeing everybody's souls and all the light and all the dark, and I couldn't cope with it. It was just too fractured. And like you said, that PTSD, I would just look at everyone and see total trauma, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, walking around in a body, but with the soul memories, and the soul is a library of an experiences, of all the experiences that your particular spirit has been through on this planet, or not on this planet. They're all there, and I didn't really understand what I was seeing, but I'm seeing everybody's souls walking around full of trauma, people completely cracking up with it and then pretending that they weren't. And I couldn't cope with that. I didn't understand it as a kid, and I just did not want to be on this planet. And I was like, there's not enough love here. I'm not going to be here. And so I was incredibly sick and incredibly poor and incredibly victimy, incredibly, had really disastrous relationships one after another, and was always being victimized because I was barely in my body. And I just didn't have an appreciation for being in a human body. I didn't have an appreciation for being alive. I love spirit, I love love, I love source. I was connected in that way to spirit. And I did love people, but I just could not handle being in my body and being on the planet. And so when I had enough love for myself and realized that my love was trying to go out to other people to heal them, and it wasn't working. So I used my own love to heal myself. Yay. And then from that place, then I could be of service, because like you, I was more stable. You can't be of service when you're a mess trying to help somebody else who's also a mess. It's just dysfunctional people trying to help dysfunctional people. And it really is the most important service you can do, everyone, is to really heal yourself first, and then come from that place of what you learned in your self-healing, share it with others, be of service to others, support others, lift other people up, be grateful for other people. Putting each other down and thinking you're doing good is just counterproductive. It's not true, and it's actually completely hypocritical. It's that it doesn't work. So lifting others up and serving, and if you've got information, spread it, but like, don't attack people with it. Jen.
Yeah. So
actually,
beautiful.
Oh, I was looking at some of the comments. Yeah. Feel free to ask Jen some questions or myself some questions. And actually what's really annoying is I can only ever see the last 4 comments that were made, but I just want to thank you all for watching. I'll come back and look at them afterwards. Jen.
Yes, darling.
You are about to move, aren't you? You're about to move.
Not talking about that when that's not.
Okay, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
You're totally right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about.
I want to talk about Mighty Network, because I think that all of us need to know that there's basically an absolutely amazing new social media platform that has been created, that I think Facebook, the energy of Facebook is squeezing a lot of us out, and we've all been looking for these other platforms. And I think all influencers, teachers, there are so many like different kind of like faculties within Mighty Network to run the most amazing groups and summits and lives and everything. And so I just want to let everyone know that I've now joined Mighty Network. So if you just put Mighty Network and then put Jen McCarthy, come and join my Mighty Network. And I'm hopefully going to be doing all my transmissions from there, and I'm going to be hosting online retreats from there, doing online concerts from there. And yeah, so just want to say that, you know, there's been a lot going on with you know, I don't want to say the word, but well, censorship really on this platform. It's been very, very difficult. So yeah, I just wanted to do a little plug for Mighty Network. And also to extend that plug, I am offering a free 30-minute cosmic chat stroke reading with me to a lucky soul who comes and joins my Mighty Network and who then shares about the Mighty Network. So, you know, if you want to come and actually have a chat with me and I can give you a bit of a reading, a very deep reading, Akashic soul reading, come and join my Mighty Network, and you'll be in with a chance to win. I think I'm going to choose 2 people, and I'm really excited about that. Like, just get to like meet the community. It's really exciting.
It is, and it's a brilliant new beginning as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, by the way, and for those of you that haven't already met Jen or seen her on Facebook, you've been doing a lot of beautiful things over the last few years, and you've given out a lot. And I just really want to love you and honor you for that. Thanks. You've touched a lot of people. You've really touched a lot of people. And even though Facebook have shut you down, I think for you, this is a new beginning. And, you know, When you let go with one hand, you receive more. And I absolutely know you're going to have an enormous following, Jen, bigger than ever before.
Well, I just want, you know, people that are meant to find me, they'll find me. And I get so overwhelmed with messages of love. I mean, God almighty, I just can't believe it. But, you know, I'm very, very consistently in service to my brothers and sisters, and I don't have days off. It's like the thought of having a day off, that I'll just like, what would I do? I'm here to help. I'm here to be of service. And it's same, I was coming back to Donald Trump, it reminds me of him, because he said that, it's like, because he works so hard that that's what he wants to do. Like, I just want to, like, you know, do God's work. I really, really do. And I'm so driven. And that's just the cloth that I was cut from, you know. And people, they just don't worry about me. Like, I'm in my bliss. I'm in my absolute bliss when I'm serving my brothers and sisters. Yeah.
And you can tell when someone's really been there in their truth, because they glow.
Yeah.
You know, people shine when they're coming from a place of truth and service. They really shine. And if there's anything shady about them, they literally look shady. Dark under the eyes, dark, heavy vibe. You can just see it in their face. Almost, you know, if you look, you can really see it. But anyway, Jen, I wanted to say to you, so we've been talking about being in that peace and being in that love. And I know for me that if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't be in the happy place, in this happy relationship that I'm in now. What do you think about that? What do you think about two people coming together when they're in harmony within themselves, and then coming into a relationship? What do you think is important for those people? Because I know a lot of people right now are looking for their twin flame or are waiting for their twin flame. I know loads of you are. And I know loads of you have been having yours come together. And if you are one that's had recently come together with your twin flame, even maybe at the beginning of lockdown, through lockdown, or since then, first wave lockdown, that is, not second wave, you know, if you've come together with your twin flame, and some people don't like the word twin flame as well. I'm going to say that I really didn't for ages, and I've ended up using it because that's how people communicate.
Divine counterpart's quite a good one. Yeah.
And also, I just want to say, Gaia has shown me multiple times for many, many years how when a soul is created, let's say, I'm going to give you a visual, in the crucible of creation, in the cauldron and the womb of the mother of creation, there's a flame. And I'm not talking a flame like, you know, my candle here. I'm not talking about this kind of a fire. But the fire of creation, it's an incredibly powerful, passionate, love, creative, divine flame. And from that flame, she showed me many times, from that one flame, she creates two. Often, well, they're going to be exactly the same in power and energy, like an equal, but they're also complete opposites so that they attract.
Yeah, they're, well, masculine and feminine polarity, yes.
Yes, they're in polarity.
Yeah.
Equal and opposite in their powers, in their strengths, can be in their personalities, can be there in their opinions, can be all kinds of things, but it's going to be that polarity, that strong masculine, strong feminine energy. And that's how it works. And then those two souls go off and have their life experience, and will often come together, have a lifetime, go apart, come together, have a lifetime, and often do this like a catechus, coming together, going apart, coming together, going apart. And in those times of apart, they create enormous learning, gather a lot of information, go through a lot of processing, go through a lot of learning, and they come back together, do an awful lot of creating. So that energy has to be, when you create, Jen, right, you have to be in a place of harmony and synchronicity with one another, don't you? Because otherwise you can just, because you're so powerful together, you can actually end up really destroying each other, which is, you know, the story that I went through over and over again. So I'm just going to ask you, Jen, do you think that it's important? Like, where do you think people should come from in their energy right now in order to attract their divine counterpart into their lives now? And why it's important?
What do you mean?
Like, what do you think people can do with their own energy right now?
Oh yeah, to attract their divine beloved.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And why it's important as well. Like, is it important? I think it's important. I'd love to hear you talk about as well why you feel that's important.
So it's all about our own personal journey towards enlightenment and self-mastery. And we arrive in that place on a consciousness level when we come home to the 0 point field. The 0 point field is another word for fifth dimensional consciousness. So in third dimensional consciousness, you have duality, you have polarity, you have separation, you have I, us, them, my land, your land. It's all about duality and polarity. The truth is oneness. The truth is the 0 point field, that everything is one. Every blade of grass, every grain of sand, every flower, every child is intricately, perfectly woven into the tapestry of oneness of creation. And there is no separation from any aspect of creation. All that is truth is oneness. And that when your consciousness arrives at that place, which is home, it's actually home, it's the present moment. The 0 point is the present moment. And it's like when you realize that what you have been searching for is the present moment.
And was always there and always will be.
And you think you've been searching for
and
your
you're not lost.
And you think you've been searching for God, you think you've been searching for a guru, but really you've been searching for the present moment, for your consciousness to drop home into now. Because when you truly arrive home now, then you arrive in the 0 point field. And that is what it's all about.
You know, isn't that what I was calling love earlier?
Yes, love is the 0 point field,
right? Because you can call it love or 0 point, they're the same thing.
You can call it God, you can call it truth, you can call it 0 point field, you can call it fifth dimensional consciousness. There are many names. Oneness. But it's the plateau of truth. It's the where duality merges and becomes one and becomes and creates like the zero. And it's the snake eating its own tail. And it's the Kundalini energies of the masculine and feminine Kundalini. Because when we incarnate, the Kundalini is dormant, and that represents duality consciousness. But basically, if we're a light worker starseed, we'll have these trigger ascension moments that will basically stir the Kundalini energy to awaken from its very, very deep third dimensional matrix slumber. And so once that happens and the Kundalini energy begins to like wake up out of its slumber, and then they both sort of wake up, then all they can do as the masculine and feminine polarity of your own being, all they can do is rush together in divine ecstatic sacred union. And this is the journey of the self. You are searching for yourself.
Exactly.
You truly are searching for yourself. And so we all have a duty to remember that, to actualize that.
Exactly, to embody it, become it.
Yeah. And so for every single one of us that arrives home in the present moment, in the 0 point field, where all duality has merged into sacred oneness and union, then there's no more lack. Lack no longer exists. So from that vibration of lack, there's no, oh, where's my twin flame? There's no, there's none of that. There's literally none of that. All there is just an outpouring of love and an outpouring of service. And then when you are in that, when you are releasing those codes to the universe, then your divine counterpart then gets on their highest timeline very, very quickly, and in divine timing will drop into your reality. But there's no longing and there's no lack or there's no searching. That's all showing you, like, you can have, there is like very, very pure longing, but it's sweet and it's blissful, and it isn't that desperation, So if you're in that desperation energy, you've got work to do, and you're not ready for your twin flame, truly, because if you do come together with your twin flame, you haven't quite got to 5D. Your 4D, your sort of like complex 4D realms, very messy, very lot of duality going on, but it's even more complex in 4D. Do you know what I mean? So you want to get to 5D. You want to just really focus on basically serving your brothers and sisters and taking the reins of your egoic consciousness, which is what it's ultimately all about, you know. So having a spiritual practice, we all need to have a spiritual practice, because if you don't, your ego is going to run the show. As simple as that. So you need a spiritual practice, so that instead of your ego blindly just driving you like a blind man into, you know, into disasters, you're like, no, actually, I am embodying my higher self, and I'm going to be focused right now on being grateful. I'm going to be focused right now on serving. I'm going to be focused on right now on really, really looking after myself, on having boundaries, having very sacred boundaries. So that is where you want to be. You know, so a spiritual practice is absolutely fundamental for all of us if you want to come into harmony with your own self, and to come into union with your twin soul.
Thank you, love. I think that's brilliant. I think a lot of people will have wanted to hear that. And I know that you and I could talk about this for a lot longer, and hopefully we will at another time, because there's so many other like fascinating bits on that to share. But I just quickly want to ask you as well, Jen.
Yeah.
What do you think, like in terms of what we're saying about the shift and people evolving and these, you know, us moving into that? And we could get super cosmic, but I reckon we can definitely do that another time. But I'm talking about, when do you think it's important in people connecting with their divine counterpart as part of what's happening on the planet with that evolution right now?
Definitely. Just know that, like, this is how I believe, what I believe a twin soul is that in the beginning of creation, all that existed was this white ovoid light, and it just was just existing and existing and existing. And one day it wanted to know itself. And so it was agreed that there was going to be a split, an original split. So the oneness became two. And what I have been shown is that basically, when in that original split, Zoe, can you not send me messages, hun, because they keep binging up on my Facebook, love. When that split happens, they basically, it's androgynous. Initially, it's an androgynous split. And so they stay in that androgynous state for like probably like billions and trillions and bazillions of years, and then at some point they then made another agreement that they were going to split, that the androgynous sort of like blob of light, if you like, which is our union of our twin soul, we're going to split in order to go off on our own evolutionary journeys to learn and evolve and gather experiences as opposite polarities. Wow, that's an amazing thing to do. Do you know what I mean? To ultimately come back together and to lift our vibration higher than it's ever been. So my advice to everyone is believe and trust that that is what happened in your creation, that you do have a divine counterpart. It's like you can't have a coin with one side of a coin. Like every coin has two sides. Mother, Father, God isn't like, oh right, oh yeah, one day I think I'm going to create a feminine. Oh, another day, oh, I'm just going to create a masculine. They are one. The masculine and feminine are one. Do you know what I mean? They're created like together as one. And then the split happens. So my message to everyone is to trust that. Trust in our beautiful creator, that we have these love stories that are written into our destinies. You know, that's step one, trust. And step two is telepathy. Once you trust that they're there, they're out there, send them telepathic messages, because they're so lonely and they're so scared and they've forgotten about you on some 3D level, and their soul is just so deeply needing to drink of your essence and remembrance. So telepathically connect to them, say, I know you're out there, I know that you're standing under the same moon, I know that you're standing under the same stars, and make that link. That's stage two. And stage three, which is really ultimately the beginning, is become the most masterful version of yourself ASAP. Like make it happen, make it your priority. Like nothing else is more important on a spiritual level, that you fully attain spiritual mastery. So do that for your beloved, so that when you align with them, then you're going to be in such harmony within your own essence, you know, and then that will assist them to come into to raise into harmony within their essence, and then it is going to work. It's just going to work. So
you're going to magnify one another.
Yeah, you're going to magnify
in peace. If you're in peace and they're in peace and you're in your 0.5D love vibration, oneness vibration, having realized who you are and fallen in love with the creator of yourself and all that has been created, when you're in that love creation space, they're in that love creation space, and you come together, you are massively amplifying. Imagine making love from that place. You know, maybe you don't have to imagine. I make love from that place. It's absolutely incredible. And it feels like new planets are being born. It feels like that harmony gets sung all over the planet. It's incredibly beautiful. It's amazing. And so it's another way of like you said, you know what, Jen, we've never had this conversation, but I completely agree with you. That original split, that original separation.
Yeah.
Totally seen it, and how we came into form and all these incredible things that happened. What a gift. So that we can come back, we learn who we are by first realizing and understanding what we're not, going as far away from ourselves, testing everything, and then going, you know what, actually this is the truth of me, this is what resonates as my truth. And the closer we come back to that truth, the closer we come back to ourselves, the closer we come back to one another, the closer we come to that whole planet being brought back together in that oneness energy. And that's really what we're always talking about, isn't it?
Absolutely. And this is a really perfect opportunity, Tara, for me to let everyone know about the 1111 transmission.
Perfect. Well done.
And I just had a download that maybe the reason why they took down my Facebook is because I'm really meant to focus again on twin flames. I just got this download that it really is like, I am like such an important voice around this whole reality of these twins coming together. And it is so intricately connected to the ascension of Gaia. And it's like my team is saying to me, right, move, just get away from all the conspiracy, Q, blah, blah, blah. Right, let's focus you back on twin flames ascension.
Yep.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah. So, and that's really interesting. So basically, what I've been shown by my team is that 1111, on the 1111 portal transmission, we are going to be working with the higher self of the 144,000 starseed twin flames that have incarnated at this time. These were seed unions that were planted at the time of Lemuria. And that this lifetime, this pivotal lifetime, this great awakening lifetime, is when the seed of those unions becomes the fruit of those unions. And that is the 144,000 twin soul divine contracts. So we are being guided to call together a transmission, working with the higher self of the whole 144,000, in order, because every time, it's like exactly what you just said, every time that a true twin union takes place, it is basically the embodiment of mother, father, God, creator of creation, kind of fractaling down into the most smallest aspect of itself, but yet being the strain of that vibration. We are gods and goddesses of creation. And so when we come together, we create an energy and that energy is, one of the closest words we have for it is bliss, ecstasy, rapture. We go into those states when we merge with our true counterpart. And when those vibrations are emitted from our hearts and our souls, then this is what is going to be the sacred hands that are going to stand underneath Gaia to lift her to the fifth dimension. And it is intricately connected to the sacred divine union of these twin flames, these twin souls. So we're being called now to come together in the 1111 transmission to hold space, hold the vision of all 144,000 twins coming into sacred union right now in this timeline of now. And because this is it, we're coming into this ascension point, Tara, this event gateway on the 21st of the 12th. This is the event horizon. Jupiter goes into Aquarius at 0 degrees. This is truly the marking of the age of Aquarius. And so we are all working in unison with Galactic Central to make this happen, to make this ascension happen.
Exactly. And for me, it's a done deal. I'm an Aquarius, and I absolutely live in the future, and I know the future, and it's already a done deal. However, we are living in this body, in this timeline, in this density, in this reality right now, walking ourselves to this experience, you know, fully living it. I mean, I always keep getting the same message. Tara, sit back, not doing nothing, but sit back and enjoy the ride. And in that joy, it propels it. In that total trust, you named it, trust that it is happening. Trust that everything is happening for a divine reason. And instead of getting our little brains, you know, our conscious mind is very small. It's a very small window compared to our subconscious and our unconscious and our higher mind and our super consciousness. Look, it's tiny little conscious brain trying to understand all the crap that's going down right now and all the amazing things that are happening right now. It's going to short circuit everyone. There's too much to try and understand here. But when you sit back and you're being a super highway of connection from the top of your head and your spine all the way down to your root, to your sacral, into the earth, and you're grounded and you are present and you're in that moment, you're in your breath, you're in your body, you're a super highway conductor for this energy. Isn't that right, Jen? That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what happened to you.
God.
You're a super highway conductor of these higher energies and the earth energies of manifestation of what wants to happen. So you can sit back in that energy, relax the spine. Don't get yourself completely fried and anxious and stressed out, not breathing properly, not taking in enough oxygen, disconnecting from your body and your emotions, right? Because you're freaking out. That's just like, oh my God, it's like white noise. It's like, you know, it's dissonance. You have to come back in, sit back, literally enjoy the ride, fuel it with your joy. Again, you said gratitude, trusting that it is happening, trusting that Gaia's got this, that when you're in that space of oneness, you attract everything to you. You're not in lack anymore. You are healing yourself, and therefore you're healing all others. You're in service when you're sitting back in that beautiful, relaxed, connected, present place, and enjoy everything that's going to be revealed and is being revealed. And your eyes are going to be like, what? No way, wow. And we will be celebrating. We'll be really celebrating because it is happening.
Yeah. The spell of the Matrix is, you know, is like, be afraid, don't trust. That's the spell, you know, that's the illusion.
Dispel it.
But the truth is, trust. You are a divine being of the very, 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 very highest order. You truly, truly are. Trust in your birthright. Trust in your divine heritage. Trust in your bloodline. We are all of the royal bloodline. Every single child of God is of the royal bloodline, and there is no separation. Absolutely no separation. And that is the truth.
We're
so claim your divine heritage. And trust, choose those higher timelines. Like everything in the third dimension is pulling you into the lower fear, non-trust. Like that is what it's here to do. You have to choose to trust. You have to not be lazy. You have to be active. You have to be choosing. Like choosing is our greatest superpower.
It's definitely one of them, Jen, that's for sure. You know what's really funny, and we're going to wrap this up in a minute, by the way, everyone, because I know, Jen, you're tired and you've got a lot going on at the moment, so I don't want to keep you any longer.
No, I'm good, actually.
Are you? You're amazing. Because you know what's funny is that the whole reason I ended up writing my book on self-love is because I actually wanted my partner, who I've come, you know, many times we've come together in lack, fear, disharmony, not having healed ourselves. And then we ended up pushing each other away. That happened over and over again. And so all I could see was this person, and I really wanted him to love and forgive himself. And I really wanted him to heal, because I thought that's what would bring us together and make our relationship possible. So I ended up writing the book on how to love and heal yourself. And then I read it to him, and it was the unfinished version. It was on my laptop. I hadn't structured it, as tons of it was, you know, not as it is now. And I remember reading it to him in a hammock in Australia when we were away together. And he was like, I feel like everything you've said is, you wrote this book for me. And I was like, well, I did actually.
That's brilliant.
Right. But the funny thing was, and the story of this is in the book. We had a certain, commitment made that we thought we were going to do together, and that actually didn't happen. And I was so devastated when we broke up again. I was absolutely devastated. And what I did, it was like, I've got to do something good. I need to do something useful and helpful to help people, because I need to get myself, better. And what I did is I went back to my laptop, started reading the book that I hadn't finished. And I thought, I'm going to finish this book. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this out into the world, and he'll read it and he'll heal. I ended up reading everything I'd written so far, and it changed my life. I was like, oh my God, this is about me. Like,
brilliant. Oh my God, I love that.
It wasn't called I Love You Me at the time. It had a different title. And I was like, oh my God, this is about me. And so I then started, it totally changed everything. And every word I had written, or every read that I read, it wasn't like I wrote it. It was like, I don't know, of course I wrote it, but it wasn't as well. It was like, coming from a really beautiful, pure place. And when I read it, it totally changed everything. And then I started applying the very method, the very teaching that I share with people, and I did it with myself. And it's so funny that, only a few years later, my entire world is completely transformed. And then he's back in my life again. His world is completely transformed. He's healed and grown. And we are in a place now where we've come back together. And it's just like, there's no barriers anymore. We don't bring lack with us. We're not bringing our struggle with us, because we've come back into that place of wholeness and completeness in ourselves. And when we come back together, it's just even more amazing. So I'm not just saying this, it's a wonderful theory, and it could, that the cosmic version does sound really out there for some people, but I'm telling you, it's absolutely true. It's super cosmic, this life. We are super cosmic divine beings.
Super cosmic. It is. Yeah.
Well, at least star children, all of us.
Yeah.
And the thing is, on that very real, fundamental, well, it's all real, but on this human level, on this level, we have the ability in these very dense physical bodies to come together in unconditional love and to manifest unconditional love in this third dimension, in this very dense physical human form. And in that place of unconditional love, even our bodies transform and change. Our cells start to change, our DNA starts to change, because we then take on this unconditional love energy. And that's what I see going on the planet. That's what I see happening for everyone.
Do you know what? I just got this amazing download that when twin souls come together on the physical level, Finn's here. No, put him in here.
Hi, Finn.
When twin souls come together on the physical level, it's like the final crescendo of creation. Yep.
It is.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't get like that's it. Like and it's like all roads lead to that meeting. All roads lead to that meeting, and we all need to hear this. I need to hear this. I've been on this, incredible journey with my true twin since he was revealed to me 7 years ago. I'm at my 7-year anniversary of my awakening and remembrance. So, and what a journey that's been, but so many significant things going on. And I was just getting enough download as well, because yesterday I got a tooth pulled, lost my Facebook, and I am moving house. People don't know where I'm going, but I'm moving house. And that all happened on the 3rd of November. Like this long-term problem with this tooth that I had to go to the hospital. And it was like this dentist, she was like, I'll just do it. I'm just gonna, you don't need to go to the hospital. I'll get it out for you. Yeah. And it's been this like long-term thing of COVID, couldn't get it out. And they were like, well, but it was just like, that's such a big thing to lose a part of yourself, and that happened on the 3rd. And then it was the election day. And I'm about to move, and I don't know, I feel like, and then it's actually my twin flame's daughter's birthday on the 4th of November, and that was like the rebirth day, because I feel like I'm very connected to her spirit. When she was being born, I'm very, very deeply connected to her soul. In fact, very, very deeply connected to her soul. So her birthday was on the 4th, and I was just getting this just this download of all those things that happened on the 3rd, losing a tooth and all big massive things,
You have to let go. You have to let go of a lot of baggage
do you know what I mean?
and beliefs and things that you've held on to, being your rocks that you hold on to for reality and for your safety, your security blankets, everything. They've got to go.
Yeah, that's what's happening to me.
You can't bring anything that anchors you in any kind of fear into that world of unconditional love. You have to release all your fears. And that is scary, but that's the whole point, because you can't be in love and be in fear at the same time. You can't birth a baby naturally and painlessly in fear. If you want a natural, we've talked about this before, if you want a natural painless birth where you're in bliss, then you have to completely surrender and relinquish all fears and let go of control and trust. And when you trust, you're in bliss. That's what happens. And when you're in fear, you're in agony and pain. And it can be a real simple choice, like you said, Jen. Choice is everything. Which one are you going to choose? You're going to choose the fear and the pain that always goes with fear, or are you going to choose the bliss and the love? You really can only choose one. Can't have both. And if that's your choice between, you know, which one are you going to vote for? Just vote for the love. Vote for, you know.
And trust. We've got to trust that we come from like extraordinarily holy places, like every single one of us. And like people like myself and you, we're just forerunners. We just like wake up a little bit earlier, but we're all one. There's absolutely no hierarchy and no separation. And Mother, Father, God doesn't have any favorite children. That is an absolute fact. We are all equally adored. We are all equally precious in the eyes of our true creator.
Yeah.
And
we're all one. We are all one. There's no separation.
Absolutely.
So isn't that beautiful just to remember that in these crazy, really intense, hectic times where people's psyches are being pulled apart, separated from their families, emotions torn to shreds, people don't know what to believe. Just really come back to that. Come back to that. We are all one, and we are all coming back into harmony with ourselves, with our divine counterparts, and with each other, and that is happening, and that's the name of the game. So get on board with that, because that's what's the most important thing.
Yeah. And I think, you know, that the words that set me the most free on my journey are: enlightenment is a choice. It is an active way of being. You have to always keep choosing that higher path, because your ego is going to be dragging you down 24/7. And so enlightenment isn't just like a place where you arrive. It is like, it is a continual active place.
It's a daily practice, isn't it, Jen?
Yeah, of continually choosing to those higher thoughts of gratitude, thoughts of blessings, thoughts of service, you know, because if you don't make those choices, your ego is going to drag you along and just bash you around and take you to all sorts of horrendous places. It's either that or choose the higher path. And when you do choose the higher path, then your vibration begins to align with the vibration of creation, because creation is a very, very, very high vibration. And when you just adjust your transmitter of your self radio transmitter to being a little bit on the positive side, then suddenly the whole of creation like rushes to you like a magnet, going, oh look, and then you start having like all these synchronicities, divine meetings, downloads, and it all just starts happening. And it's just a simple choice. And that is why when the Buddha awakened, he laughed, because he could have made that choice 27
and he realized how simple it was.
Yeah, it's just a choice. It's not like some special mystical thing, oh, I'm enlightened, you know. It's just simply an active choice to choose higher thoughts, that choose the higher path every minute of every day. Because no matter how enlightened you are, you will always have your ego, because the sky will never ever get rid of the clouds. And why would it? The clouds make it interesting.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jen. So just to wrap up a couple of things, check out.
Yeah, I just want to say about the 11/11 transmission. That's going to take place on 11/11. I might have to do it at 11/11.
You might have to. UK 11.
I'm going to have to.
But also people can go on to, what's it called, Mighty?
Yeah, Mighty Network. I think I'm going to stream it live on Facebook. On YouTube. It's gonna happen on YouTube. So it's going to be a big one. Yeah, we're going to get as many brothers and sisters as possible, like the full crew.
So how do people join? They just join you live on Facebook, or they have to sign up?
Yeah, they have to sign up. So I'm going to do my blog tomorrow, and then I'll create like a link for you to book, and you just make a donation and you get a PDF, and it gives you the link to join the secret link to join where it's going to take place.
There you go. So if you want to be on the 1111 twin flame, twin soul, divine union transmission that Jen's doing, you have to go onto Jen's page. The new one, Jen McCarthy, is obviously going to be here. We'll post it a few times, and then you can follow Jen, and then you will get that tomorrow.
The event is happening.
The event is happening.
Yeah, I'll be pinning it. The event is happening group. So
perfect. And everyone can join that. Everyone's welcome, aren't they?
Oh, and Zoe can put my email subscribers list, because then I'm going to send out the blog to my email subscribers, so we could get that link going. And yeah, we just need as many brothers and sisters on this call as possible.
There you go.
That's amazing.
Let's do that. And everyone go and join Mighty Networks. I just joined it as well today, Jen. So you can find me on Mighty Networks.
Did you join me? Did you come and find me?
I did. I joined you.
Yay! Woohoo!
I joined you, and of course I did. And then I made my own profile, so you can find us both on Mighty Networks. Now that's fun. You can show me how to use it.
Yeah, we can all learn to use it. We can all learn to use it together, hon. Let's all just do it together.
Happy days. Jen, I love you super much. I know I'm going to see you soon, and we're going to do more things. And all the best with your move. And I will definitely be on your transmission as well.
Thank you, darling.
Everyone, please support Jen. Thank you so much for being here.
Please share this video.
Super love you, all of you, and peace to every single one of you. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you.